Welcome everybody to Growth Mastermind Group. We're a group of entrepreneurs whose mission, vision, and purpose is to encourage other entrepreneurs to discover, fulfill, and unleash their potential. We meet every single Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today is no exception. We are here with a wonderful 10Xer, Miss Rebecca Cramer, who is the owner and the CEO of Loud Marketing. And she's going to share with us some insight, tips and tricks how to be out of the obscurity by being live, by being out there, by being loud, and bring the people that you want to reach out in front of you as a customer. This being said, I would like to give the stage to Ms. Rebecca Cramer.
Thanks so much, Peter. Much appreciated. And thanks for having me today. Thank you very much. So I guess to introduce my own self, my name is Rebecca Cramer. So yes, I am the CEO of Loud Marketing. I also am a coach and I teach my clients how to grow their business 6 and 7 figures. You know, there's a lot of people who don't know what they don't, when it comes to growing their business, they don't know what comes next. So I help my clients figure out what comes next, how they can actually use social media to grow their business and communicate with clients that way, like in a way that is actually like a normal conversation. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself and what I do specifically.
And can you tell us how you start everything, so you kind of go through us a little bit about the journey that makes you ready to where you are, and you know, like what sets you apart, and even more important, what is kind of the tips and tricks for somebody that will try to start in the same business that you went through?
Of course, of course. So I've been doing this for 5 years. And so before I started my agency, Loud Marketing, I was actually working for Yellow Pages Group. So I was in marketing anyways. And I thought, oh, this is way too easy. I'm going to try this myself. And I had been at Yellow Pages for 10 years. And so I transitioned and started my own agency, and it was not as easy as I thought it would be. It was definitely a little more challenging than I anticipated, but it's been really fun. Like I've definitely learned a lot. I think, you know, when you become an entrepreneur, you start just your own self, and you grow and add to your team. And I certainly have grown, and things have changed for me, especially since COVID. You know, pre-COVID, I was in an office and I had a team beside me. And I think since COVID, it's become more and more challenging. So there are some things that I've definitely done to adapt. Absolutely. You know, now there's like my team that I have to look after, as well as my clients, as well as, you know, everything that I'm trying to promote myself. I guess some things that I've had to kind of go through to get here. I didn't always have the information about, you know, what comes next or how do I get to the next spot. And I think honestly using social media has made things easier for me to be able to communicate with people. And going live has been a huge part of that for me, especially, I mean, right now we all are lacking communication and human interaction. And so being able to go live gives me the ability to be authentic and allow people to see how I really am, and hopefully understand the knowledge that I have. And it's actually grown my business because I've been able to do that, which I don't think I would have done had I not been, you know, stuck in my home with everything that's happening with COVID. So this last year has definitely been the biggest change for my business, for sure.
If you will scale it, you know, like I would say, if you're gonna go to this again, what will you change, like from the start to the beginning, considering the things, the amount of things that's going on right now, and things that you learn on all this short period of time since the pandemic started and everything, and to scale it like, let's say, pre-pandemic, and how you will move your things around so you're gonna be more prepared for anything that's gonna be in the future.
That's a good question. I mean, the thing is, for me, I didn't really, so this pandemic, the team that I had, I always gave them the option to work from home. I didn't ever not allow them to work from home, just because, I have a marketing agency, and some people need, when they do best being creative working from home. That's just the reality. And so there have been some things that I have changed. So some things that I have changed that I would have done sooner, that I should have done sooner, would definitely be, so I've set up, which this has been huge for my team, and I wish I would have done it sooner, but I've set up team meetings every day. We have a team meeting from 9:05 to 9:15, just a quick little meeting, just to kind of like reshuffle and not reshuffle, but it gives us, we do better with strategizing that way. We celebrate the wins. We talk about if there's anything that we're going to do this week, sort of thing. But so that's, I guess, one thing that I've changed with my team specifically. But I think going live has been definitely important to my business for sure. And I think that what I also do that I mean, I didn't mention it specifically when I introduced myself, is that I've helped my clients go live, and I've helped actually a lot of people go live, because I think it's not just the technical aspect of going live that people struggle with. It's the, ooh, I don't know if I could do this. I don't have the confidence to do it. Like, what about you? When was the first time that you went live? Because I started going live in like October only, I think.
So, like for me, I think I started a little earlier personally. I started because of the pandemic. It was very funny because when they start to like stop the traffic here on Ocean Drive where I'm living, and they stop the traffic, like no car can go in. I was like, wow, you cannot even get out of the house. So, and it passed like maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and after 1 or 2 weeks, like I heard in the chat people saying, "Oh, my business is going down. I cannot stop it. I'm gonna have to close my business." And then in the same token, we had people inside of the group saying that, "No, my business is going so excellent. I'm scaling. I'm going up." I'm like, okay, we have 2 different types of people. So we start with a Zoom call with the idea that, hey, what about the people that they already been successful and they show that it works right now, can talk with the people that they didn't make it work, and we cannot change ideas. So I started the entire Growth Mastermind. I mean, of course, the group was actually before we were like doing, inside of the WhatsApp since 2019 after GrowCon, but I never been to the idea of being in front of the camera. I hate cameras. I don't like cameras. I'm scared about cameras, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be in the front of the camera because I don't want to be. And guess what? I start to be. It's not what we want; it's what has to be done.
Yeah.
And I cannot switch my way of seeing the camera as the best way to communicate with people, because that way we have created that interaction that I would say good vibes around people, and we meet people and we have the opportunity to kind of create that trust because we see each other.
Yeah.
And yes, it's not a handshake like I like it, but at the end of the day, if we can do stuff and can change people life and help people to do better, why not? So
exactly.
That was basically the idea. I started in March 2020 when pandemic started. I started the first meeting, and I think the first guest was Mr. Mike Rock.
Oh, cool.
So
very cool.
We had him as the first guest, and I didn't realize until the end of until I actually put it on YouTube, the recording, that I forgot to switch from, you know how you have the views on the gallery view and speaker view? I
Oh
totally
yeah.
forgot to switch from gallery view to speaker view. And the entire interview with Micey Rocky was done in the gallery view, and he's like somewhere like a small picture there with a lot of other people around me. And I didn't realize.
But that's okay, because then you get to see people's, reactions and find out what content was even, the most engaging by judging from people's faces even, right?
Yeah, it was kind of cool because I put it black and white, and I said this is our first one, and I left it black and white, like an old fashioned way. But yeah, it is a learning curve. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. It's a learning curve. At the end of the day, if we're not gonna be learning from each other, helping each other, we're not gonna grow. So
Yeah.
it's not like, I don't think anybody in this world and this call in everywhere, like it doesn't matter what business you are, you're gonna be perfect. It's gonna be always something that you're gonna learn, or something that you're gonna like not know, and kind of trying to absorb for the people that will know. And the beauty of these things, with these calls that you're doing, I doing, and like Ken is doing, Ken Joshin, which is on the call. Thank you, Ken. Like he's like, sharing his knowledge, sharing his thoughts with people around us. So he's giving like lessons, and everybody's gonna learn from it. It's like, like even if you're not gonna be like 100% paying attention, you're gonna be like one of those to listen more. You're gonna just play it, and you're gonna be doing stuff. Things going in your brain, whether you're willing or not willing to.
Yeah.
You're like, I heard that before. Now I know about that, and I found it very fascinating because, especially for us as an entrepreneur, it is so many stuff that we learn that we all like, I heard that before, I never actualized it. And you hear the same thing over and over again, like 10, 15 times. And maybe only after 1 year, after hearing the same thing, you can actually start to actualize it. Because sometimes the information, when it comes to our brain, it is in a weird way, like our brain is like, I would say, denying. It's like, it's not for you time to learn this. You're not ready for this. And then later on, you're just listening to it, like I say, oh my gosh, I knew about this. Why I didn't do it? Well, because your brain was not ready, maybe. So, I think that's one of the things that, like being online, being live, kind of bring out to me the fact that, I'm listening to people, I'm learning from people, and I'm like having this connection with people. Yeah. 2020, and I break the pattern. But hey, kudos to you, because you started in October and you're already like all over the place. I mean, everybody knows you. So you're more active than me.
The thing is, I know that I have to be consistent. And the best way for me to be consistent is if I put it in my calendar and then I do it every day. What happened was I applied for LinkedIn Live. So not everybody gets access to LinkedIn Live. So I applied for it, and I've put on the form. They asked, have you ever gone live before? I was honest. I said no. And then and then they gave it to me. So then I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to take it away from me if I don't use it. So then I started putting it in my calendar. And I know that when I go live, I get inbound leads and there's more opportunities for me. So there's no reason for me not to do it. So I would much rather take advantage of the opportunities that I'm creating, because it's way easier for me to just go live than to create ads. And although ads are still obviously important and good, it's just people get to they get to interact and I mean, I know that when I'm visible, that there's more opportunity, because people feel like they know me before they talk to me, because they watch me and they'll see me on the different lives. And the really cool thing, so I've had a challenge that that I've done before, and I'm starting again tomorrow. It's my go live and get known challenge. So basically, I just go live every day and I give other people ideas for 5 days only of how they could also go live. Because I know that that's a challenge. Like, okay, so I know that I want to go live. So first of all, I'm nervous, but then also what do I talk about? Okay, no problem. So let's take away all the kind of, I don't want to say use the word excuses, but like obstructions, the things that are in your way so that you can be successful also.
What are the top, let's say, 5 things that you encounter from other people as an excuse not to get live?
As an excuse or reason or objection.
Objection.
Yes. I mean, I certainly, I don't know what to talk about. That's a huge, that's something that people say all the time. And one of the things that I always say is, you know what your FAQ, like, you know what your frequently asked questions are, you know what people are asking you, because it's your business. Whether you're, you know, a solopreneur or an entrepreneur with a team or an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson in your, you know, whatever company you work for, you're the one that knows the questions that people ask. So what better opportunity than for you to go live and talk about like solving whatever problems your potential clients or customers talk to you about. So certainly that's something, that's a stumbling block that people just, I don't know what to go live about. Okay, so if you go live and talk about, don't ever go live and talk about something that you're not confident talking about, because it's, you have to know because you're live, right? So I would say that's probably the biggest. Sometimes there's technology challenges. And I would say for anyone who's not confident with technology for going live, Instagram is a really, really easy way to you just click on your story a couple times, slide 2 spots to the right, I think it is, and you can go live on Instagram. And the thing that happens when you go live, so all of the social media platforms are basically competing against television networks. We're broadcasting, you know? So if there's opportunity for a social media platform to see that you're going live, they send a notification out so that people can then engage and participate in your lives. And it drives engagement on your profiles, like going live. There's so many different reasons why you should be going live. I don't remember what your question was specifically about. What
are the reasons that they're gonna
challenges?
have, like, people
Yeah,
yeah,
for them not to go live.
yeah.
Also, you know, that they don't know what time they should be going live. What if nobody shows up? Okay, so if nobody shows up, it's no big deal. If anything happens, like whatever happens, you have to always consider that this is practice. Like every single time that I go live and I do amazing, that was great. That was practice. Every single time that I go live and I don't do so amazing, that's okay. That was practice. So every single time, you know, that you are going live, consider that you're going to get better and you're going to get better, and it's okay. It's okay if it's not amazing. Next time you're going to maybe change or adapt what you're saying. And if people don't show up, it's okay, because you can still save it to your profile so that they can see the value from what you talked about at a later time. Or if you feel like you didn't provide any value, you could certainly just delete it, but you still had the opportunity to practice going live. So those are some things that I would say that people have challenges with going live, really. Like, what do I talk about? I mean, maybe even what time of day, which you can check on your different social platforms to figure out when your audience is online. Those are probably the best times of day to go live. And then, you know, what should I talk about? What if nobody shows up? Yeah, those would be the biggest challenges for sure. Yeah, those are the biggest challenges.
And if, let's say, okay, we already knocked down the challenges, let's say we find a reason to go live, we find a subject, now what? what it would be the like, from your experience, from the things that you put together, what would be like, for instance, a way that people, they can actually not necessarily monetize it, but to get out of that life something that will be
Yeah.
benefit for them,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
how to get to that point.
for sure. So when you are going live, the nice thing about going live, and it depends on how you're going live, but it's important for you to be able to engage with people who are also, maybe asking questions, or they're on your live stream, depending on whether you're using a streaming app or you're going live. Instagram, just to go back to the favorite easy one, Instagram, you're going to be able to see every time someone pops into your live. It's going to be easy for you to acknowledge them. Instagram even makes it easy enough for you to like even wave at the people who are joining you live. And then, always, so I teach my clients about social selling, and social selling really is three different components. So content, you're creating content, you're engaging, and then you're converting. So basically that's a whole entire, like a live stream. You're creating the content, you're going live, you're engaging, so you're hopefully interacting with your audience as they're joining your live stream. And then after the fact, or like during, you're converting, you're telling people, explaining people how they can reach you, how they can get a hold of you. It's important, especially for whatever platform you're going live on, to make sure that there is a link for people to be able to convert, so that they can. And a conversion doesn't necessarily mean that they buy from you. A conversion could mean that they join a Facebook group. A conversion could mean that they signed up for your email newsletter, or that they downloaded something from you. So a conversion could look like different things depending on what your goals are with that live.
Sounds good. And what, like, from, like, for instance, from what you saw and what you already learned from your experience, what will be the like the most typical way of people reacting to a live, and what will be the big takes that you got in all this period of time that you already create lives, as a how to improve it for the next, I will say, live that you're gonna go from live to live. What would be like the trajectory that you already like seen, and you can advise people of following, so in that way they're gonna get ahead of the curve, to say that?
Yeah, so I mean, looking at how you did with whatever current one you did, like often I'll even, so if somebody is on my live, I'll even, so I would say hello to them, for example, when I see that they're on. And then afterwards, I would even maybe send them a quick message. Thanks so much for hopping on. Sometimes people will ask me questions when I'm going live. So I want to make sure that even though I answered or responded to it in the live, that maybe I reach out to connect, to make sure that that question got answered. And then afterwards, asking for that call to action. So again, even though you have it in your profile, asking like, did you want me to send you the link to my Facebook group so that you could see more of this? But how I would figure out how am I making it better or more engaging, time after time, is the amount of people attending. You want to make sure that you are like growing. Hopefully you have an email list created so that you could remind people when you're going live, because there are people that are interested. There are people that are interested in you. I mean, I don't think I thought like this far ahead when I started, but people will even ask, when am I going live, or will there be a recording afterwards because they can't make it, which I mean, that's kind of exciting, right? But in order to get to that point where people are counting on you, consistency is number one. For sure, consistency is number one, because you won't get better unless you practice. And so, yeah, be consistent, and then make sure that whatever you're talking about, you know, that you're communicating that in the subject, for example, of the live, so people know that they want to engage and participate. And yeah, you'll be able to, you'll figure out if something works versus doesn't work. And if you're able to look at the analytics on whatever social platform, then you'll be able to compare, you know, one live versus another. But certainly it's important to make sure that you are engaging with the people who are there, that you're interacting with them and responding to their questions or comments while their eyeballs are watching you.
From your research that you did with all this social media and different, I would say, research, you know, checking all the parameters that they were there in the social media. Well, is there any like perfect timing to say like that to be alive, to do a live, like I don't know, 5 a.m. I'm just saying, or like something that to be like, yeah, you know, like I think the best time is going to be doing this and this and then this.
The best time is right now. Like the best time is whatever time you can do it. I know that lots of people like struggle with actually doing it. So I would say the best time is right now. But if you're planning on doing it on a regular basis and you want to check to find out when the best time would be, I would look in the analytics of your social media profile and find out what time of day most of the people who you're connected with are active on that platform, because that would probably be the time that when you go live, they would get the notification and they might be more likely to watch. But if you're nervous and you're not sure that you could do it, just do it now. You can always figure out the like scheduled time later on. Just get over the hump of actually getting it done.
So the best time is now. That's it.
Now, right now. Do it right now.
Not tomorrow. So you know, everybody, you know, get ready because after this we go live. Okay?
Yeah.
And we have to absolutely tag Rebecca about this, so she knows that you follow her. Okay. I know that, you know, one of the things that you're doing, it is, you know, this thing will, you know, be creating this campaign of being loud. Yeah, loud. Yeah, get loud and get known.
Mm-hmm.
What is, I would say, that the things that you consider that people should be like aware of when they see this idea that, you know, like, why you think it's better to be loud than just to be like there, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, it's that the connection between what you're saying here and what is your name of your company being loud.
Yeah.
It's a good connection of, you know, hey, it's not enough to be there, you have to be loud also.
Exactly. I think the most important thing is getting attention and making sure that you're visible and in front of people. And I think a lot of us don't necessarily know the right way to do that, don't know how to do that. What I have to say is like, you just, whenever you have the opportunity. So pre-COVID, whenever I would have the opportunity, if I was in an elevator, I would talk to people. If I was like, I would go to networking events. I would always take that opportunity to talk about my business and what I do, because I'm so passionate about it, and I know that it works. But what I can say to anyone else is just anytime that you have the opportunity to put up your hand, to go live, to be visible, to introduce yourself, to you know, just take advantage of it, because the more people see you, the more people will know about you. And it doesn't just take one time for people to see you and know you. They have to see you over and over and over again in order for you to become familiar. And the opportunity for people to know you and not have to search for you I guess to kind of explain that, people want to do business with other people, yes, who are in front of them in the moment that they need it, but they also want to do business with other people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. And if you can go live consistently and show your authentic self and what you know, then people are going to feel like they already know you, like they can trust you. And so, yes, it's important to be there when they need you, but if they already know who you are, they'll know how to find you.
So get yourself known by being in front of the people, being in front of your audience, and make sure they're gonna like you. So if they like you, they're gonna listen to you, and if they're gonna listen to you, they're gonna trust you, and they're gonna trust you, they're gonna give you their business towards you.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Exactly.
Wonderful. And I know that you've been doing business since 2003. Yeah, so 2003. Now it's 2021, so it's like 18 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a pretty considerable amount of time you're doing this kind of business.
That I've been working with yeah, small, medium businesses. Yeah.
So it's sort of, and from, like kind of doing like a time lap from 2003 to 2021.
Yeah. So
what do you believe the changes? What are the things that we should be like, like things that, is not anymore working the same and people they should adapt to, I would say.
Okay. So, I mean, in like the olden days.
Because I know a lot of people, they're still thinking the same mindset, like it was 2003, and they try to make the business working, and it's like, I don't know why it doesn't work. It used to work.
I wish I could be back to 2003. Advertising was so inexpensive back then, like all we had to do was be in a phone book and it would work for us. Like we would be visible enough. Whereas now it's just not the case, because we transitioned from print, where, I mean, there is still opportunity for people to use print. It's just not to the extent that it used to be. I mean, I remember, I think probably in like 2005, people were just starting to have websites. And then maybe it was 2000, I don't even know. I'm like aging myself here. But in like maybe in 2010 that's when Google made it so that you had to have a mobile website, because everybody's using their mobile cell phones. And things changed from us having like day timers that we carry around with us to everything being in our phone book or in our cell phone. So things have changed when it comes to marketing. Being able to be visible and do what it takes to be visible on different social platforms, it's so much more important than it used to. Like, it used to be way easier to just show up in one place. Now you have to be omnipresent. You have to be all over the place. So it's just much more of an effort. But if you can do it, if you can stream on all the platforms and be visible on all the platforms, you're going to differentiate yourself, because not everybody is willing to do that stuff. So if you can do something different than everybody else, then you're more likely to get found and do well.
You just mentioned a word, the magic word called social platforms. And I think they're like more than enough now all over the place. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to learn about this new platform right now. I'm not ready for it. I'm not sure. Which platform is the one that you consider that it will be easier for a startup or for a person that is not necessarily a social media person, which I still find a lot of them. And which one is the one that you advise them to start with, and which one is the one that you think is working best for new businesses and to kind of create the connections?
Yeah, so I mean, that's a great question. I would say the really cool thing about Facebook is that you can have Facebook groups, and having a Facebook group is basically a bucket. you get to have like a container of your perfect audience located right in one spot that you can communicate and prove value to. So I love Facebook for that. Instagram is really an easy platform to be able to go live and communicate with people on. Of course, I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely, I can't pick a favorite. I just can't pick a favorite. But if you're doing B2B, if you're doing business to business, I would say LinkedIn should be your favorite social media platform. If you're doing B2C, if you're doing business to consumer, I don't know. I mean, I would say probably, it depends. It also depends on the product or service, but Instagram is a pretty easy start. I don't know if that answers your questions at all.
No, it answered pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out, from a standpoint of a person that maybe is not very familiar with everything, what will be the differences that you would consider as important for a business person to understand, except the fact that, like you mentioned earlier, that LinkedIn is going to be more a B2B type of platform, and Facebook maybe is going to be more like B2C kind of oriented. But what would be I would say the differences in them, kind of, for a person that's a newbie in the business, how they will be able to kind of figure out which is the best that's going to work for them, and what questions maybe they have to ask themselves to get to those answers that they're gonna trigger that decision of, hey, I'm gonna start with this, then I'm gonna take this and this.
Yeah. So I mean, it certainly can be a little bit challenging to figure that out, but I would say the nice thing about LinkedIn, if you are doing B2B, is that people have their cell phone number, people have their email address, and usually the people on the other end it's not an agency. So you can communicate one-to-one with the person on the other end of the message.
Okay.
So that's what I would say about LinkedIn. I mean, I honestly, LinkedIn is my favorite when it comes to like, it's easy to use. It's, you put up all your information there so people know exactly what the communication would be about. Yeah, I mean, I definitely love LinkedIn. The challenge is that not everybody can go live. So Instagram is the other kind of like easy to use platform when it comes to creating content and interacting.
And just because I know that you're an expert in LinkedIn, and I was wondering, like, for a person that just opened their profile, or it's not like it was a profile that was not very much used, and let's say they're under 1,000 followers, what you will advise them that they're going to be the key elements that they have to be aware when they create their profile as a business instead of LinkedIn, and how that one should reflect in their business?
So when you're creating your profile on LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you're completing your whole profile, including all the different elements, of course, and just make sure that regardless of what experience you have, like, for example, regardless of what job that you're applying for, you need to, or that you do currently, you want to make sure that you're adapting your profile to whatever your target audience is right now. So if you used to be, a receptionist, you make sure that the tasks that you're putting in, that you did, that you're a problem solver, that you went above and beyond, like give specific examples. And so that's if you're trying to get a job, but also if you're trying to sell a product or a service, and your other experience can help people understand that you're an expert in that specific thing, that you would adapt that information as well on your profile.
Okay. And from the point of view of social media, what you would consider like, like as an optimization of your social media platforms towards your business? It's like the key elements, let's say, like for each platform that and you are like present on, what would be like 3 elements that you will like consider that is the optimal for the business to work on all those platforms that you're gonna be able to mention?
So the key elements
Like 3 of
on,
them on each, if it's possible. We're not gonna go in details. We're just gonna, like brush it to them to kind of, underline some aspects that are gonna be necessary for them to understand.
yeah, of course. So when you're setting up your profiles on all the different platforms, there are, I mean, I would say some specific key elements that you would want to make sure you're including on all the different platforms is really your about you and what you do, the problem that you solve, for sure a call to action, contact me, join me, sign up here, whatever you want that call to action to be. And then making sure that you have the link in your profile, because nobody will, I mean, that's the thing on Clubhouse, for example. On Clubhouse, if you don't have your Instagram connected there, nobody can DM you. You need to make sure that on all your different social platforms, you have the way that people are going to be able to communicate with you later. You have that information so that they could easily click. Because the other thing is, like, we all want things easy. We all want things, the less clicks, the better. The less work I have to do as an end user, the better. So if you can tell me what you do, what problem you're going to solve, and, also making sure that there's brand consistency throughout all of your different profiles. So if you're using the same color code in your cover image on everything, you want to make sure that it's on every different profile. Same with even font. You want to make sure that your font is the same. We use Canva for a lot of the cover images or things that we create, and it's important to have consistency of branding throughout the different profiles as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Just as like I like as a kind of because I know we already like been there more than 1 hour, and I don't want to hold you more. But just to kind of understand, like going through all the stuff elements of social media right now and everything that we had so far, what would be like, except hire a social media expert like yourself, what would be like one advice that you will give to a person about social media in these days, in current days, so they're gonna be like kind of be ready to step in this kind of field of marketing and getting their business out there?
What would be the advice that I would give someone? I would give someone the advice that you need to start right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've done, previously. It doesn't matter like that you weren't consistent in the past. Start right now, but start and be consistent so that you're showing up all the time. As soon as you start to be consistent, it not only is beneficial for the people who are potentially, engaging in your content, it's also good for you, because the more that you're consistent, the easier it will be for you to do. And so I would say be consistent, start now, right now, and then be consistent. So that would be I guess, the major things that
Be consistent.
Yeah.
Anybody has any question? If you have a question, this is a good time. This is the best chance to have it done. Yeah, and this is the time to ask the question as well. And if not, Rebecca, please can you tell everybody where they can find you, except our Facebook, but for those ones that don't know you, where they can find you, how they can reach at you, and like kind of give us like a wrap up of tonight.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So if you, my Instagram, first of all, is Cramer Says, and on my Instagram, I have my Go Live and Get Known challenge. So I would love for you to join me. That challenge starts tomorrow. And then my Facebook group is Social Selling Growth Masters, and it's similar to this fabulous group that we're in. And then, yeah, my website address, I would say I'm just going to do those only two calls to action. I don't want to confuse anyone. Check out my Instagram, Cramer Says, and you'll be able to subscribe to join me for the challenge. And then join my Facebook group, Social Selling Growth Masters.
Sounds good. And the event is going to start tomorrow. What time?
Tomorrow, I'm not sure what time we have the going live scheduled for, but I believe it's in the email subscription. So I should have had that information for you today, but I don't.
So you can look up, everybody can look up, go to Instagram, get out, find out, what is the time. So in that way, you're going to be able to schedule for tomorrow. So you can be an active participant, because now is the time, not tomorrow.
Are you going to join my challenge, Peter?
Absolutely. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it.
Good.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the one who's going to be on top of the lead. Okay?
Love it. Love it.
We have to do it. We have to do it. It's not an option. We have here Mr. Caesar, here that is popping in. Mr. Caesar. We have some love from New York.
Hey.
Hello, Caesar.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Fabulous. How are you
Rebecca,
doing?
awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm great. Happy to be here with you and getting knowledge and nuggets from you. You're such an asset to everybody you touch and speak with. Anyone else who doesn't know, Rebecca runs an amazing clubhouse room in the mornings. And you guys got to jump in there, for 10Xers who want to role play. You should tell them about that too, because it's really great.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So I have a question. Do you think I need to get better at this going live thing myself? I don't do it anywhere near enough at all, if any. Because I always thought like I should have like, a studio and be like set up better for it, but just go do it now. So like basically you don't have to have any special setup for that. Just do it.
Yeah. You just need your phone. That's all you need. You go on Instagram, you click on your story, one more time, and then you can slide it over to the live and you just click on the button. And there it is. You go live. It's easy. You don't need a fancy studio, honestly. If you're in a dark, I would say if you're somewhere dark, go outside or go stand by a light. That would be, but you don't need fancy equipment. There's no fancy equipment needed.
And some people even they can put some cloud lights, if they don't have, they press that woo button, that they have it handy. I think it's on the right side upper corner, and they go outside, they're gonna have red and blue light.
Oh yeah. yeah.
The police lights, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's gonna be some good effects right there.
There you go. Special.
People, they will pay attention. It's gonna be in their instinct. They're gonna be like, oh, I have to pay attention. It's some blue and red light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
anyhow.
so Caesar just reminded me actually also, myself and Canadian Jose, we have a clubhouse room every day, Monday through Friday, 9:15 Eastern, where we role play, do agreement drills, answer any questions. And the thing about that room is we are really consistent. And because we're consistent, people know that we're going to be there. So if you're being consistent and you're showing up all the time, people will expect that you're going to be there, and they'll miss you when you're not.
Yeah.
They
have to do it. So everybody is going to be tomorrow at Clubhouse, and then it's going to be after that. It's going to be to the challenge that you're going to have. to be live. So we're gonna have a beautiful next week, and we are just warming up tonight for the next week. So we're gonna crush it, because that's the only
Yeah.
option we have as a 10Xer. It's either we crush it or we don't, you know. And there's no also question mark on that one. It's just an observation. But anyhow, Rebecca, I really appreciate you to have you here tonight and to speak with us, and you know, like be on OPS, yeah.
Oh yes, OPS. Other people's stages. Yeah.
OPS, yeah. Was this?
Yeah.
OPS. So yeah, because you know, I know it's important, and I think you know it's just amazing to be able to have like such, I would say, it is this energy that you know you share, and I think you know, like being with us with other 10X and seeing you all the time, like I don't have to, I know we brush shoulders on the 10X when it was the event, but we never wrote the point of the call. But I still know you because I know you all the time, and I think that's very important to be that, to bring that energy right now here, and to share with others, and make people be aware about everybody's capacity of being out there. Even if they're not confident, they can build up confidence by doing every day a little bit of life for 2 seconds. Hopefully they don't have one. Hopefully they will not gonna have one of these old phones. But if you don't have that old phone, that means you know you're in good hands, because it takes you a few seconds to go to stride out to that life, and then you're gonna share your love with others, share energy, and people are gonna find you, and you're gonna get loud. And if you cannot get loud, well, you're gonna talk with Rebecca. Rebecca's gonna get you, make you loud. No?
Exactly.
Rebecca says, yeah. Rebecca says, yeah.
Yeah.
So if not Rebecca says, to call her. That's all.
Exactly.
And contact her, no matter where you are. We have now beautiful internet and everything they can have. Thank you very much one more time. I'm not gonna hold anybody anymore, and I'm not gonna hold you. Thank you everybody that will participate tonight. And by the way, next Sunday we're gonna have a powerhouse from Clubhouse, by the way, that she's gonna share with us how to be on top of the age of the Clubhouse. And this lady was teaching Mr. Grant Cardone himself how to be a celebrity on Clubhouse, and Russell Barson and Ty Lopez and other amazing entrepreneurs. I want to put it in the club in the chat, and also on Facebook about the event for the next week. So if anybody wants to learn about Clubhouse, and even if you're on Android, not to forget that I think starting next month, I think is the first of the month, they're gonna start to be publishing to Android. So we're gonna have a lot of newcomers to Clubhouse. So we better be on top of it. Anyhow, thank you very much, everybody. One more time. Beautiful week. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.